All right, in this video, we're going to take a look at collections, which are a big part of Materialize. A lot of times you're going to have lists of data, especially if you're building like an application that fetches from an API. You might want to display that data that comes back inside of a collection. So we have some markup here. It looks horrible by default without any of the classes or anything. So we're going to work on this. We're going to start with the just standard collection. Okay, we're in the 2.6 collections HTML file. And to create a collection, all we have to do is add a class of collection. And these are similar to list groups in Bootstrap, where you'd have a class of list group, and then you'd have a class of list group item. Well, in Materialize, we just want a class of collection item. Okay, so pretty much the same kind of thing. So we'll say collection item. All right, and let's save that, and there we go. So that looks a lot better than it did before, and that's just a basic collection item. Now you may want to have a collection item as links, so kind of like a menu, maybe a side menu. In this case, we'd have a div, and we'd give it a class of collection, and then for each a tag here, we'd have a class of collection item. Okay, so basically the same classes, just different elements. And I'll just copy this, make this a little quicker. Oops. Okay, and let's see. The badges, I'm just gonna get rid of that for now. We'll do that after. So let's save, and now you can see we have kind of like a side menu. We have a collection links. All right, now badges are just like little, if we want a little box with, maybe these are categories of blog posts, and you might want to have the number of posts in each category. That's where a badge comes in handy. So we'd have a span, and then we would do class equals badge. And actually, yeah, class equals badge. And then let's save that, see what that looks like. Wait a second. 44. Oh, we got to give this a class of collection item. Okay, so it's basically just putting a number over here. Now if we want to make it look a little bit fancier, what we could do, we need our class collection for this a tag, and then in this span let's do class badge and also do new and save. And what that does is it basically gives it a background here, and it also puts in new. And it's helpful because you wouldn't have to put in the word new programmatically. You could just have just the number, and then Materialize takes care of putting in the word new. All right, so let's take a look at a collection with a header. So what we would do is have a UL and give it a class of collection, just like above. But we would also have a class of with dash, not with, WITH, with header. Okay, and then for this first li, it would have a class of collection dash header. All right, and the rest of these will have classes of collection item, just like any other collection. All right, so let's go ahead and save that. And now if we look down here, we have this header that says items, and then we have all the items underneath. Okay, so we also have something called secondary content. It looks like I have an extra, or I forgot my angle bracket right here. Okay, for secondary content, the UL, we're going to do, again, collection and then with header. We need a class though. And then this list item will have a class of collection header, and it'll say items, and then each of these LIs will have a collection item class. And now under the first item here, or under whatever text is here, we have an A tag, and we're going to give this A tag a class of secondary content. Okay, and then the secondary content is going to be an icon. I'm going to make it a close icon, make it an X. So let's say it was something you could delete. All right, so if I save that, now you'll see we have a collection item with an X over here. And just to shorten this up, let's take this LI, and let's see, we have 3 more, so we'll go 1, 2, 3. I'll just change this to second, third, and fourth. They're all going to have the same X icon, so that's fine. All right, so now we just have a collection with some delete icons over here. Now we can also do avatar content or avatar collections, where we can have like either an icon on the side or an image. We could format an image. We're just going to use icons. We're going to pretend this is like an address book type thing. So we'll go ahead and give this UL a class of collection. And this LI will be, class collection, and or collection item, and then also avatar. All right, and I'm just going to copy that. Okay, and then the icon underneath, let's make this a contacts icon. And we're going to give this a couple classes in addition to material icons, because I want it to be blue, and I also want it to be a circle. Okay, so we can give this a circle class. And then we're going to leave the span, we're going to give it a class of title, which I think just makes it a little bigger or a little more prominent. And then that stuff will stay, no need for any classes on that. This A tag, this will be the secondary content. Oops, that should be secondary dash content, and let's make this a grade icon. All right, if I save that, there we go. So that looks pretty good. You know what I'm going to do? Instead of having to type all that out, let's just copy the whole LI, and we'll just replace these 3 other guys. So I'll paste that in. That's 1, 2, 3, and then we'll just change the names up. So we'll say Steve Smith, say Karen, and we'll say Mary Williams and Mary, and we'll just leave the same phone number. Not a big deal, just want to show you how it's formatted. So that looks pretty good. All right, so another thing I wanted to show you that isn't really relevant to collections is having a badge inside of a drop down, okay, because we also mentioned badges in this lecture. So we're just going to have basically a button that has a drop down, and we can put a badge inside of it. So let's do an A tag with the class of BTN, and we're also going to give it a class of drop down dash button. Okay, and then we're going to give it a data activates. Let me close this sidebar up. So our data activates, I'm going to set this to drop down 1, and inside here let's just say drop down And let's put an icon. I'm going to go on the next line. And this will be an arrow underscore, oops, drop underscore down. So if I save that, now we have this drop down. And let's see. For the href, I'm just going to do a hash and a exclamation so it doesn't go anywhere. Now underneath that, let's create our UL with the ID of drop down 1, okay, because that's what we used for the data activates. So inside here, and this actually also has to have a class of drop down content. Okay, so we'll put an li, and inside the li we'll have an a tag, and let's say this is item 1. Actually, we'll just go ahead and make a couple of these. Whoops, sorry about that. All right, so this will be 4, 3, and 2. If I save that, now we have our drop down. Now if we wanted to put a badge in one of these, we could go inside the a tag and we could say span class badge, and we'll say 44. All right, we could also do a new badge. So we could say span class badge and new, and we'll say 3. All right, so let's save, and there we go. So if you had like a directory site or something like that, you had new items or new posts, you could use these badges. All right, so that's going to be it, guys. That is collections and badges. In the next video, we're gonna work on a really important part of Materialize or any framework, and that is the grid system.